Hello everybody. It is late December. As a matter of fact, we're about a week away from Christmas, and it was a beautiful 60-degree day. I had about an hour to kill before sundown, and I couldn't think of anything better to do than to get my kayak out and float my favorite part of Lake Taneycomo. This is the area between Cooper Creek, which is Lilley's Landing, and Scotty's Trout Dock. Splitting this float right in the middle is the Highway 65 bridge going north and south. You can hear a little bit of the road noise there in the background, but for the most part this is an absolutely amazing quiet float. If you put in at Cooper Creek or Lilley's Landing, it's about a 2-hour gentle float down to Scotty's Trout Dock. My wife and I put in at Scotty's probably 3 times a week in the summertime after work. We'll race home, get the kayaks out, put them in the water, and we'll paddle actually upstream as far as we can till we get tired, which is almost to Cooper Creek, and then we float back before dark. Today is absolutely peaceful. There's no boaters out. The fishermen are not out today. And this is by far my favorite part of this lake. There are these neat little 1950s looking docks that dot this area. There's beautiful mid-century modern homes that are on the upper bank, which is on the south side, the Hollister side of the lake. And then there's these brand new beautiful homes that are built up on stilts, so to speak. They're elevated because of the floodplain on the north side or the Branson side of the lake. The people down here are unbelievably friendly. In the summertime, they'll be down here fishing off their docks or barbecuing hot dogs and hamburgers. Not uncommon for them to offer you one as you float by. They are just really, really great people. When I was a young lad, and we'd come down to the Branson area and cross that 65 highway bridge for whatever reasons, I would look down into this valley and look at those houses and go, someday I'm going to own a home down there. Well, as an adult, we made that happen. We don't live in this particular area, but we do have a beautiful lake home right on the banks of this lake. We love it. We're about 2.5 minutes by car to the public launch where we put in. We are on a bluff, so we don't have direct lake access from our house, but we are directly lake front. And again, I just love this area. I'm going to pause here and just let you listen for a second. Most of the time in the summer, there are boats in all of these slips, which would be really great because you can just come out your back door, hop in your boat, ride it down to the Branson Landing, which is maybe a half a mile or so down the river here, and eat at any one of the amazing restaurants that are at the Branson Landing. The water's not moving hardly at all today, so I'm just barely moving. Sometimes in the summer when they're generating electricity, you'll be clicking along pretty good without paddling. I mentioned Cooper Creek Public Access. That's from the Missouri Department of Conservation. Right next to it's a couple of really cool little resorts. I'll do a video on those shortly. Lilley's Landing, of course, being the most famous of those. Neat mom and pops types resorts right there. If you're looking for a place to get away from the hustle and bustle, I highly recommend that you pick one of the resorts here along Lake Taneycomo. It is not uncommon to see bald eagles flying around here. They nest on down the way just past the landing. They'll come up here and fish. There's a breeding couple that raises at least one every year that I've been down here. You can see down there by the railroad bridge the fog is starting to roll in this evening. That is very common down here on Lake Taneycomo. This is a cold water lake. Year-round water temperatures in this part of the lake is about 48 degrees. This water comes directly from underneath the Table Rock Dam, and it just doesn't warm up until you get down around Forsyth, that you can even get in it and feel somewhat comfortable. But it is great trout fishing. This is one of the greatest trout fishing lakes there is in the country. So if you're a trout fisherman, you've got to come down and try this lake. On down the way there in the far ground, you can see the famous arched bridge of East 76 State Highway. That's the marker between this part of the lake and the Branson Landing area. Branson Landing is a really cool place. In the foreground there, you can see a railroad bridge. That is the Branson Scenic Railway. Neat place. They've got dinner excursions, and this time of year they're doing the Santa train. Great for the kids. Take them down there and they do the Polar Express reenactment. All the way down to having the hobo on top of the railroad car. It's really cool. They get hot chocolate and a cookie. Pretty neat thing for the kids to do. As I mentioned earlier, I am a realtor, and if you're interested in a lakefront property or a lake area property, give me a call. My phone number will be on the screen. I work for Murney Associates Realtors. I am a lake area specialist, and I have a special designation from the National Association of Realtors called the RSPS. That's the Resort and Second Home Property Specialist. That means that I am extra qualified. I've been licensed and trained and tested to find resorts, second homes, primary residences, and other investment property. And I specialize in lakefront and lake view properties down here in the Branson Tri-Lake area.